Hello chess lovers, I am Aman Agarwal and welcome back to Master Chess. Today, I've got for you an amazing chess game played between England Grandmaster Nigel Short, as you all know, famous for the Diamond King walk, and Jan Timman. Now when I say Nigel Short, obviously you know it is the game where Nigel Short marched up his king from g8 to h6 to checkmate his opponent. So let's check that game out. So before that, I've got my audio fixed this time and also got my face cam with a few changes here and there. So do comment below and let me know your thoughts on this video and the overlay. So let's start the game. Nigel is playing with the white pieces and opens the game with one e4. We have knight to f6, e5 and g5. Now you might think that why is black moving his knight around and letting white develop his pawns? Okay, so here's the thing. White has many lines where I can play c4 and kick the knight away to b6. But what happens after that? Let's say a move like g6, then c4 and knight b6. Now what happens after this is that white has overextended his pawns. Yes, and obviously these three pawns are not enough to destroy a whole army of black, right? So black will play the rest of the game like a move like g6, knight to c6 and play around these pawns to attack these pawns and make them weaker. Therefore, and there is a ton of theory here. Therefore, after knight d5 and pawn d4, we have pawn to d6. Here, there are many lines to continue, like you can play knight f6, you can play bishop there, you can play pawn c4 as well. But Nigel goes for the setup with the knight on f3 and the pawn on d4. Black plays pawn to g3, g6, and now instead of the pawn, the bishop attacks the knight. The knight moves back, counter-attacking the bishop, and the bishop also moves back to b3, and Nigel says that it is a long nice dagger for him. We have bishop to g7, and although nothing was under attack, Nigel Short played a move like queen to e2, which is not very famous and it is called the Albert variation. We have knight to c6, again nothing is under attack because we have 3 attackers and 3 defenders. White short castles, and now you know a very tempting move for black would be to play a move like bishop to g4 to pin this knight. Let's say black plays it. Now I would like to ask my viewers, what tactical idea does white have here which wins for white? Let me give you a hint to solve the same. First of all, the bishop should be unprotected, and secondly, the king should be the sole defender of the f7 square. Pause the video and find the solution. Yes, I guess you must have got it. You first give up the bishop on f7 with bishop to f7. The king takes, and now the third thing you need is that the knight could give a check and it is protected or not being attacked. The knight moves to g5 with a check, you hang your queen, not really because black can't take it since he's under check. The king moves to g8 and now you capture the knight, and now the queen is coming to e6, the knight is coming to e6 and it's bad news for black. Therefore a move like bishop to g4 would not have been possible after castles. Therefore black also castled. And now I'd like to ask you, what threat does black have here? Well, if we get careless and play a move like knight to c3, now black comes in with the bishop, and the difference is that now the f7 square is not weak anymore as it is defended by the rook and the king. Therefore there is no tactical idea such as bishop captures on f7. And now the spin is really exploiting, because the knight is coming here, the pawn can take and then he can take back, so it's gonna be better for black. Nigel understands this and plays the move h3, not allowing bishop to g4. We have pawn to e5 and Nigel says, I understand the plan, Timman. You wanna play a4 and trap my bishop. Sorry sir, that's not allowed. I'll play a4 and now I'll have to find a different plan. Nigel and Timman says, okay, I'll play g5, g5 and tries to simplify with knight to g4. Now often in such positions, you know what happens is that when you are lacking space, you need to trade pieces. And that's somewhat what happened in the game. White took the knight to d4, black took back, and we have rook to e1, defending the sole weakness which white has in this position. We have, and now in this position, I would like to ask you that what would you play as not a natural human player or anything as such. Yeah, I believe most of you would want to develop the only undeveloped piece in the position, and that's what I also want to do. But let me say first that Timman was a far stronger player than me. Thus, whatever it does must have a plan. But the move e6 surprises me a bit because, oh man, what are we doing with this bishop? But anyways, leave it. We have a knight to d2, potential squares for the knight. If you ask, e4, e4, and f6 are the most potential squares for the knight, out of which f6 is the most dominant one. We have knight to d5, and now completing the goal, knight to f6. Knight to f3, attacking the queen and defending the center. We have queen to c5, Timman drops back with the queen. And now the computer says that white is up 1.5. But how does white play for an advantage? Now, in the modern era, where we have seen the games of top chess engines like AlphaZero, Stockfish, we would be tempted or rather play the move h4, h5, h6 and go for this idea to attack on the king side and gain a flank attack. But Nigel played a more humane move with the same idea. The idea of both is to attack on the king side, but the way is different. We have queen to b4, and now as you see, black will be very happy if a trade of queen occurs. Now why? Because white is going for the attack, and if a trade of queen occurs, black will emerge out with zero problems at all. Now, what are the ways to stop a queen? You don't want to drop the queen back to e2, nor do you want to play pawn to c4 because that just simply hangs the bishop there. Therefore, Nigel plays bishop to c4. Timman attacks it back with knight to b6, and now to play a very professional and a fearless move, a b3. Like you are letting your structure get ruined, and still you say that I am better. Now let me explain you why. Black took it, and white took it. Now the structure is dismantled, but if you see, the bishop has not moved, the rook has not moved, nor has this rook moved after castling. Therefore, all of black's pieces are useless and inactive and have to be developed. And black has a lot of problems to solve. First one is white is also threatening bishop to a3. So he stops that first with rook to e8. And now Nigel plays a move like rook to d1. It seems very passive and useless, But the idea is, if you see that what is black's idea in this position? Well, black wants to develop his bishop to the d2 square. Now how will you prevent that? Yes, that's why rook to d1 was played to prevent the bishop from coming to d7. We have queen to c5, dropping back the queen, and now Nigel plays queen to h4, trying to launch some sort of an attack. Now since the queen has moved, Timman grabs this opportunity with pawn to b6 and thinking that he could finally develop his bishop. We have and now black is very happy he can play bishop b7 and take this knight. Well, did I just say take this knight? Well, not really, because the next move of white forces black not to take this knight, because black would be very happy to take that knight as it would remove one of the main attackers from the position. But Nigel plays bishop to e3 and forces black to move back to c6. And obviously the queen won't take on c6. Now why you might think that the queen cannot move back to e7? Well, that's the question I would like to ask you. Pause the video and think about it, that why can't black play queen to e7 even though it offers a trade of queens? Yes, surprisingly, you take the queen on e7, black takes it, and now you play rook to d8 check. exploiting black's black rank problems. Bishop f8. And now the bishop comes to h6 because this is pinned. Bishop to b7. Black thinks that he is defending it, but now you don't take the bishop with the rook. Rather you take it with the bishop. Black takes your rook and you take on e7, emerging a piece up. Therefore, a move like queen e7 was not possible. Therefore, after bishop e3, black played queen to c6. We have bishop to h6 executing the plan of trading the dark square's bishop and then launching an attack. Black moves back the bishop and we have rook to d8. Now I would call this a very teasing move because obviously black won't take and give you a chance to checkmate black on the back rank. But anyways, black plays bishop to b7 and consolidates his queen and bishop on this battery. We have rook a to d1, adding another defender to the rook because this was being attacked. We have two defenders and two attackers, so black cannot take it. And now black plays a very tricky idea with bishop to g7. Well, you might think, oh, it's simple, you take the bishop. Taking the bishop is simple. But what do you think? Will black capture it back? No, not really. Black will capture the rook on d8. Okay, you can capture back, you might think. And now once black will capture, you play takes and then black can capture this. No. Black will first capture the bishop on g7. And now this position is just a draw. If you take this, black will take back and there is hardly any attack there. Queen f6 is met with king to g8. Therefore, that is not a possible option. That was the trick which Timman had. But after to bishop to g7, it was not enough to trick Nigel's shot with such cheap tricks. He played rook a to d7, dropping the rook back. And now he has a threat to take. We have rook to f8, and now he takes the bishop. The king takes, and now white would love to play knight to g4. But why can't he? Pause the video and find a simple tactic. Oh yeah, queen to g7, queen to g2 is just a checkmate. Therefore, Nigel's shot played rook a to d4 and tried to come in with the rook here. We have rook a to e8, and now the queen comes to f6 to deliver a check. And now if you see, once the king moves to g8, you need a piece on h6 which protects the square on g7 that your queen can deliver checkmate. You have lost the dark square bishop, nor can the knight do the same. Now I would like to ask you which is the only piece which can do that. Yes, the pawn and the king. We have pawn to h4. Nigel tries for the same idea, but black simply stops it with pawn to h5. And now is the moment where the title, the famousness and everything comes into play. And why is this game so famous? I like you to pause the video, and I believe everybody of you knows the answer that what was played in the game here, but still I like to ask you all. Yes, it was a beautiful and crazy looking king to h2 with a beautiful idea of coming from here to h6 to deliver a checkmate. We have rook to c8, and suddenly Timman realizes that there is nothing much he can do. We have king to g3 and rook c back to e8. He thinks that he can rotate the rook here. Nigel moves further with his king. Now he attacks the rook, but the bishop c8 was to be played 2 moves earlier. Nigel doesn't really care about that rook and lets him take it. And it was at this position that John Timman resigned the game and Nigel shot registered a beautiful victory over him. Now let me show you that why did he resign the game. Well, if he takes this king at 6 and there is literally no way to stop a checkmate here. Even if you don't take it and play a move like king to h7, stopping the king from coming to h6, white is gonna play rook f7, he takes, the king moves, and now king h6, threatening a checkmate on g7 and h7, so the game was to be over anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this beautiful chess game and enjoyed every moment of the video, me asking you questions and you trying to solve them. Thank you for watching and bye for now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more chess content.